Hello, everyone. Welcome to my 2020 Top 10 list of hot, resilient trends in green roof and green wall design, plus a look into 2021. Hi, I'm Linda Velazquez from Greenroofs.com, and we've certainly had an unprecedented and super challenging year on many fronts, and on a truly global scale. Potentially, the ever-evolving COVID-19 pandemic could be the most serious health and economic threat of our lifetime. For those of you who don't have time to watch our entire top 10 list for 2020 and 2021, we're breaking it up by categories to make watching more manageable. You'll see that the hot top 10 list for 2020 and 21 is a bit different in that trends are defined in terms of their resiliency application. I've curated a selection of truly resilient global architecture from across 6 continents to hopefully keep you inspired. And number 1, the post-crisis city. Rethinking sustainable vertical urbanism. What will architecture and design look like after COVID-19? Biodiverse, resilient, and flexible. Acting as the world's tallest carbon sink tower, the Mandragore would rise 2,418 feet high in the East River in Manhattan. Named after the mandrake plant with an anthropomorphic human-like form, architects say, the symbolism of the body confronts us with our own destiny, the one that reminds us that we must preserve our environment in order to live in symbiosis with nature. The residential tower addresses the potential city of tomorrow. Using plenty of living architecture, wood construction, surface geothermal, wood turbines, and photovoltaics, it would combat the greenhouse effect and help New York City become carbon neutral by 2050. Covered in over 10,000 plants, the sinuous Mandragore also explores the idea of energy sobriety, a political concept aimed at reducing energy consumption through lifestyle changes and societal transformations. Each apartment would have an office, reducing commuting to work, pollution, energy, etc. With its various measures to decarbonize the air using passive energies and green infrastructure, the Mandragore proposes going beyond simply being carbon neutral, making the building carbon negative. The new Exposita building is a multi-use complex in Albania's capital that will rise 93 meters high. The architects say the building's unusual form allows it to partially encircle a new green space that is particularly valuable in a busy capital, while open areas are few and far between. A combination of the 24 levels of commercial, residential, and public spaces are arranged according to function, with residential upper floors having generous plantings, followed by office and commercial, with parking below. A smaller 2-story building will house a nursery and kindergarten. Tirana's climate is defined as humid temperate, and the design reflects this with solar shading and high insulation to avoid using air conditioning, resulting in the building using 30% less energy. A notch of space in the rear of the building provides a diagonal slice of air and divides 2 sides of commercial development on the ground floor. The large vegetated terraces act as passive solar regulators, creating a green oasis. Designed by Heatherwick Studio, Eden is set 66 feet above a tropical ground-level garden in fabulous Singapore. Rising up through the ultra-luxury residential tower is a vertical ribbon which the architects deem planted chandeliers. And these double-height balconies offer privacy and natural shade. Thomas Heatherwick says, instead of glass-clad edifices with token balconies, each home within Eden will have a lush garden right at the doorstep with organic and generous living spaces achieved by breaking up the traditional boxy floor plate. Each apartment has a large central living space surrounded by smaller individual rooms and the wide shell-like balconies dripping with vegetation. Eden's dramatic 18-meter-high lobby offers just a preview of its over 20 species of lush plants. A radical departure from the glass and steel tower typology, the building is designed to mature like a sapling that has taken root beneath the streets, pulling the landscape of Singapore up into the sky. I'll end 2020 with a beautiful dose of reality for our number one position of the post-crisis city, rethinking sustainable vertical urbanism. With the huge success of Stefano Boeri's first vertical forest in 2014, the aptly named Bosco Verticale in Milan, the architect's two vertical forests in China are being planted now, one in Nanjing and the other in Huanggang. Located close to Wuhan, the Easy Home Huanggang Vertical Forest City Complex comprises 5 towers and will be vegetated with 395 trees, 3,600 shrubs, and 12,000 perennial plants. Here you can see its first tree being lifted up almost 300 feet, or 90 meters, above the ground to the 25th floor. Located about 300 kilometers or 186 miles from Shanghai, the Nanjing Vertical Forest has 2 towers that will host a total of 27 native plant species, 600 large trees, 200 medium-sized trees, and over 2,500 shrubs and hanging plants. This vegetation will regenerate local biodiversity, reduce CO2 emissions every year, and produce up to 16.5 tons of oxygen every year. Architect Stefano Boeri says, "The vertical forests in Nanjing and Huanggang are a reference model for sustainable green architecture in China and other Southeast Asian countries." Please visit us at Greenroofs.com to stay on top of all the global green roof and green wall news, and don't forget to join us on social media and get your company all the exposure you deserve by getting listed in the directory. And here's a quick look at hopefully a really complete list of my inspirational sources and resources that I used for the 2020-21 Top 10 list.